संचररे ब्रह्मणि मानस संचररे मदसिखि पिञ्छालङ्कृत चिकुरे।
राम जय राम जय जय राम ओम श्री 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 राम जय राम जय जय राम ओम
अलङ्कृत चिकुरे मदसिखि पिञ्छालङ्कृत चिकुरे महनीय कपोलजित मुकुरे मानस संचररे। श्रीरमणी कुच श्री श्री श्रीरमणी
श्रीरमणी कुच दुर्ग विहारी सेवक जन मंदिर मंदारे
परमहंस मुख चंद्र चकोरे परिपूरित मुरलीरवधारे मानस संचररे। अलङ्कृत चिकुरे मदसिखि पिञ्छालङ्कृत चिकुरे महनीय कपोलजित मुकुरे मानस संचररे। श्रीरमणी कुच श्री श्री श्रीरमणी
श्रीरमणी कुच दुर्ग विहारी सेवक जन मंदिर मंदारे
परमहं
For the past 2-3 days, Papa wanted all of us to concentrate on the qualification to become a true dearest Bhakta of the Lord. Today he prompted us. Why was he bringing it? Because it's a small chapter. 12th chapter is a small chapter, I mean the whole 18. So the question was raised by Arjuna. Which of the path he has to pursue? Whether it is Saguna or Nirguna. The Lord answers here. Saguna may be, it is also okay. But what should be the attitude while Saguna worship is going on? And if that is not possible, what should be the attitude for Nirguna worship? And this comes at the later. Because he uses one word. It's the same as Papa's words, you know. The servant of God is the friend of humanity. Sarvabhuta hite rata. All his actions will be for the benefit of everybody. So then we assume that for Saguna devotee he may not come and sit for this satsang, because he is satisfied through that form. And in order that the mind gets fixed on it, he has to impose certain discipline on himself. First is exclusive devotion, and then whatever he does, it is for him. Let us just go through the meaning. Do not the entire slokas. The sloka, of course, that has its own. Arjuna asks, Evam satata yuktaye bhaktas tvam paryupasate yechapyaksharam avyakram tesham ke yoga vittamaha. Those devotees who ever steadfast, thus worship you, and those who also worship the imperishable, unmanifested, which of them are better versed in yoga? That was the first question. And the Bhagavan answers, Maya Veshya Manoyema Nitya Yukta Upasate Shraddhaya Parayopeta Te Me Yukta Yamamata. Those who fixing their mind on me, worship me, ever steadfast and endowed with supreme faith, these in my opinion are best in yoga. Then, Yetvaksharam Anirdeshyam Avyakradam Paryupasate Sarvatra Gamachintyam Cha Kudastam Achalam Dhruvam Sanyendriya Gramam Sarvatra Samabuddhayaha Te Papnuvanti Mameva Sarva Bhuta Hite Rata. Those who worship the imperishable, the indefinable, the unmanifest, the omnipresent, the immovable, the eternal, having restrained all the senses, even-minded everywhere, intent on the welfare of all beings, verily they also come to me. Sarva Bhuta Hite Rata. Klesho Adhikadara Avyaktasakta Chedasam Avyaktahi Gadir Dukham Dehavat Vyapyate. Greater is their trouble whose minds are set on the unmanifested for the goal. The unmanifested is very hard for the embodied to reach. Saguna, Nirguna is very difficult for us to reach, because we have got a Saguna form, with a name and form. To think about nameless, formless, it is difficult. Next. Yetu sarvani karmani mai sanyasya matparaha ananyeneva yogena mam dhyayanta upasate teshamaham samuddarta Mrityu samsara sagarad bhavami nachirat partha maya veshita chedasa. But those who worship me, renouncing all actions in me, regarding me as the supreme goal, meditating on me with single-minded yoga, for them whose minds are set on me, verily I become before long, O Partha, the savior out of the ocean of the finite experience, the samsara. Mayyeva mana adasva mayi buddhim niveshaya nivasasya shasya mayyeva ata urdhvam na samshaya. Fix thy mind on me only, place the intellect in me, then you shall no doubt live in me alone. Atachittam samadhatu न शक्नोषि मयि स्थिरम् अभ्यासयोगेन ततो मामिच्छाप्त्यं परं च यः. If you are unable to fix your mind steadily on me, then by the yoga of constant practice, you do seek to reach me, O Dhananjaya. Abhyasepya samarthosi matkarma paramo bhava madarpamapi kaumani kurvan siddhim avapsasi. If also you are unable to practice Abhyasa Yoga, be you intent on doing actions for my sake, even by doing actions for my sake, you shall attain perfection. Athaitatapyashaktosi kartum adyogamashritah ashritah sarva karma bharatyagam tadakkuru yadatmavan. If you are unable to do even this, then taking refuge in me, self-control, renounce the fruits of all actions. Shreyo hi jnanam abhyasat. Shreyo hi jnanam abhyasat. Jnana dhyanam vishishyate. Dhyanat karma parathyagam. Tyagachandi. Better indeed is knowledge than practice. Than knowledge, meditation is better. Than meditation, renunciation of the fruits of actions. Peace immediately follows renunciation. Then he starts Adhyashta Sarvabhuta. So we can take it that he is trying to give us some clues. When we are unable to concentrate on particular form, how do I attain? How do I maintain? Then I practice all these things step by step. When I try to practice in my life, or when I start observing these in somebody's life, slowly it becomes a part of mine. And this will all help me to attain the absence of otherness. And that will give me the push to know that he is behind it. A divine philosopher, when he gives a discourse for the benefit of a confused and broken down disciple, it is not only sufficient that he enumerates the dry philosophical truths, but he must be so beautifully arranged, he must arrange his ideas, that the very scheme of the discourse must help the student to gather all the ideas together in a bunch. The stanza now under review gives us one of the typical examples of Krishna's discourse, wherein he directly makes an attempt to systematize a certain volume of his theoretical dispositions into a well-arranged pattern of thought. Here we shall find a sequence of ideas arranged in a descending order of importance. The ladder of ideas, when once brought completely within a seeker's comprehension, and when he has learned in himself the art of moving up and down this ladder, he has mastered almost all the salient points this chapter has so far expounded. Spiritual practices are not mere physical act, but it is a discipline that should ultimately reach our mental and intellectual levels. Not merely doing physically. The inner personality cannot be persuaded to toe in line with the physical act of devotion unless the practitioner has a correct grasp of what he is doing. An intellectual conversion is a prerequisite to force a mind to act in the right spirit and to gain for it a perfect attunement with the physical act. A correct and exhaustive knowledge of what we are doing and why we are doing so is an unavoidable precondition to make our yoga fruitful. Therefore, it is said here that a knowledge of the psychological, intellectual, spiritual implication of our practices is greater in importance than the very external yogic acts. More important than the mere knowledge is meditation upon the very knowledge so gathered. Technical explanation of why and what for the religious practices. It can be easily learned than understood. To convert our learning into our understanding, there must be necessarily a process of intellectual assimilation and absorption. This cannot be accomplished by a mere factual learning of the word meaning, surface level meaning. The student will have to enter in a hearty spirit of enthusiasm into the very meaning of the Shastra, and this is possible only through long, subjective, independent ponderings over the significant terms of the Shastra declarations. This process of inward assimilation of knowledge can take place only through meditation. Hence, in the hierarchy of importance, meditation has been given a greater place than the knowledge of the technique. Many of us will remember that in the first text of Papa, In Quest of God, when he starts, he will combine these two, meditation and chanting. That means chanting, why it is being chanting, who is making me to chant, this is all clear through meditation. Otherwise, he says no. The particular word is very, very important. Yeah, that is why he made us to go through this 12th chapter. The student will have to enter in a hearty spirit of enthusiasm into the very meaning of the Shastra, and this is possible only through long, subjective, independent ponderings over the significant terms in the Shastra declaration. This process of inward assimilation of knowledge can take place only through meditation. This is called meditation. Hence, in the hierarchy of importance, meditation has been given a greater place than the knowledge of the technique. Meditation is an attempt of the intellect to fly from the fields of its present knowledge to a yonder destination of a better understanding. In this flight to a vast field, the intellect must have the necessary energy and equipoise. To an individual in whom all energies and steadiness of mind are shattered by the agitations created by his own ruinous imagination of the future, no meditation is ever possible. In our discourses upon the previous stanza, we have already shown how our anxiety for the future generally depletes our vitality to face the present. All fruits of action definitely belong to the future, and to be over anxious of them is to invite a lot of idle agitation into our bosom. Stormed by these agitations, we lose all our equipoise, and such an individual has no ability to meditate upon and thereby assimilate the silent significance of the great Shastra. Therefore, Krishna here gives to the spirit of renunciation of the fruits of action a greater place of importance in the ladder of ideas. Sarva karma bharatyagam. As a footnote to his own declaration, he adds, how renunciation of our anxiety for the future immediately brings about a healthy condition within ourselves, peace immediately follows renunciation. In fact, in Hinduism, renunciation is nothing other than giving up all our clinging attachments to the pleasures arising out of our contact with the external sense objects. As a result of this renunciation, therefore, a dynamic quietude comes to pervade our bosom, in which the intellect can meditate upon the knowledge of the Shastras and thereby understand the ways of self-development as explained therein. And with this knowledge, when one uses one's seat of meditation, one is assured of definite success, steady wisdom. With reference to those who are meditating upon the imperishable, infinite, the Lord prescribes certain mental and intellectual conduct which forms the direct means to perfection. That is how this Advaita starts. So, along with our Abhyasa, whatever Abhyasa we are having, we must have the right concept. And these 7 slokas give us some clues to develop the right concept. Then he took up first one as Advaita Sarvabhutana. Yesterday he made us to dwell on Maitra Karunayavata. So we'll just have a recap of only dimensions. In Advaita we found from insult to self-correction. Even our adversary, part of our prarabdha. To err is human, to forgive is divine. Finding the root of the behavior before reacting. Negativity could be the result of one's frustration. Offense might be for the defense. Understanding others, misunderstanding. Correcting ill will through goodwill. Simple faith solves complex problems. Separate the wrong from the wrongdoer. Forgiveness leads to reconciliation. A few dimensions of Advaita. Then we came to Maitra. Friendship more important than material wealth. Being there for another. The first one, the person who gave the money which has already given, because the person is no more to whom he has given. So the other people will not question him, but still the doubt will be there. So in order to preserve the friendship, that means the Sarvabhuta Hidera, the absence of otherness, everything we can keep on doing. There is no me and mine there. Something for a broader vision. You sacrifice. When somebody goes to commit suicide, somebody will, why? Absence of otherness, it becomes very clear. Love means absence of otherness. A small act. After the retirement, the barber goes to the park and gives a free haircut and shave, and all that he wants is a hug. Love cannot but be unconditional. When somebody is in trouble, when he is given, there is no question of why he is asking, where he is asking. Spontaneous. To save friendship to justification of one's act. Somebody got offended. Our job is to repair the damage. There is no question of me and mine. Real friendship transcends status, position. A person who served him as a driver when he is no more, the boss comes all the way and takes the body there in the same car by himself. friendship changes priority. Somebody is in trouble. Somebody wanted to go on a pilgrimage. Immediately when he comes to know of it, he goes there. Voluntarily gives. Friendship covers other species also. One branch of a mango tree is exclusively kept for squirrels and birds. Friendship is beyond winning. Physically handicapped, mentally handicapped children, all going together to the target point, victory point, together. Actually, when we were conducting research camps, we were very careful not to use the word competition. At the same time, some tests should be there. Just for me to know where I am. It is not that I become more intelligent than you. It is to know where I am. So we used to say, first among the equals, second among the equals, third among the equals. All are equal. All are equal in their own way. In this particular one, probably he may not be first. That should be there in our mental base. So that we will not belittle anybody, we will not think that we can outdo somebody, outbeat somebody, we can compete with others. Just imagine. For a bhakta, all are equal enough. But somebody is first in equal, second in equal. Then no charge for love. That puppy. So that is how yesterday we closed. Today we will take up Karuna. Let us see, because Karuna is a very big subject. The third quality listed is Karuna. When we think more and more on compassion, Karuna means compassion, we realize that it is a spontaneous act. It is not a product of a thought. Just keep on thinking. So explanation can do little because it is spontaneous by nature. We become one with the affected. Let's say, Biral Papa used to say, when you are compassionate and are helping others, you are acting the part of God. Direct. During the times of natural calamity, this value wells up in everyone's heart and flows out in the form of selfless service. At that time, we did not bring in the individual dimension. Nobody will think in terms of individual. Umpteen number of instances may come before you. Those who are in Bombay will know during the flood situation how everybody. Those who are in Kerala also will know during the flood situation a couple of years back, during the tsunami situation. Everything was open for everybody. Even now we are told in Maharashtra, from Nagpur, no? Not Nagpur. When the migrants were walking through Bhiwandi area, all the villagers lined up. Each one was having something, water, eatables, clothes. Somebody had sent an email here. Very touching, even to read that it is touching. spontaneous. So the Lord is making us, now the Lord is making us to realize that the said opportunity was provided to us to bring about the absence of otherness. At that time we were enthused, we did. But a little bit of reflection shows that why He placed us there, why He gave us the motivation to organize or to take part. You could have chosen somebody else. So in order to know that compassion is in my heart, He provided a brilliant opportunity for me to do that. That is how I have done.
More velam.
More velam, yes.
Overgoes. It will be given by
Yeah.
overgoes.
In 70s we remember, it must be there even now. When you go to North India during this period, summer period, in every town, in its railway station, they will be having madka water. Free. Nowadays we don't know. So we all get down, immediately go there, glass will be there, they pour madka water, cool water, clean water. Without sipping, we drink it and we give it back. Many people put some coin in it, but they don't ask for it. To them it is a great yajna. Because it will be extreme summer. Every traveler would like to drink water. And it was not like today, bottled water. No, there was no bottled water then. But we all had the privilege of enjoying it and spending some time looking at them, watching. Not only we will be taking water, the way in which their body language, they will invite and give them. This much of madka. The railway authorities provide them some stand. So, and Papa says, sadhana done in a selfless spirit leads to the attainment of jnana. Bhakti, which is the essential quality of the heart, makes life gentle, loving and spontaneous. Jnana equalizes the vision. Bhakti fills compassion in the heart, which overflows in loving acts of service. Here he gives us the importance of both, giving the little more importance for Bhakti. Jnana equalizes the vision. Bhakti fills compassion in the heart, which again overflows in loving acts of service. A man may be, and here Papa clearly stipulates, not mentions, stipulates. Why are we going through Advaita Sarvabhutana? It is made clear. A man may be learned in all the scriptures of the world. He may have performed tapasya in solitude. He may have visited holy shrines and places of pilgrimage. He may have the gifts of oratory and possesses miraculous powers. But if he has no heart that feels compassion for the distressed, poverty-stricken and starving people, all these requirements of his are worth nothing. A man may be learned in all the scriptures of the world. He may have performed tapasya in solitude. He may have visited holy shrines and places of pilgrimage. He may have the gifts of oratory and possesses miraculous powers. But if he has no heart that feels compassion for the distressed, poverty-stricken, starving people, all these requirements of his are worth nothing. Those who have genuine devotion to God are kind and compassionate. compassion towards the poor, expressing itself in act of relief to them, constitutes service of God Himself. Here we should be actuated by pure and selfless love. So we are now trying to refine ourselves from the me and mine, from the hold of me and mine, by observing. We would have seen such in our life. We would have been subjected, or we would have been helped by others also. But we develop a personal level gratitude, personal level appreciation, sentimental level or emotional level appreciation we may have developed toward them. All of us must have developed. But we hardly understand that God has provided us an opportunity. Don't limit to the individual satisfaction. He is there in everybody. He is not in that individual. God in that individual made you to observe that act of service, that act of compassion, that act of sacrifice, that act of love, that act of nirdosha bhava, all those things. God made him to do it. God made you to witness it.
So I'll give you an example. I'm taking daily chaya. I don't know what and keep that. Someone take it and keep it regularly. That is not karuna.
They may do it as a routine, but we can take it as an act of karma. It all depends upon how we take it now. Apparently it is maybe a routine act for him, but to us it is an act of compassion. In our mind he is there, that is why he comes there and does it with all love and care. And a few lines about compassion. Let us see whether they are of any use. Where there is no human connection, there is no compassion. Without compassion, then community, commitment, loving kindness, human understanding, and peace shall survive. Individuals become isolated turn cruel, tragic horrors in the forms of domestic and civil violence. Art and literature are antidotes to that. So where there is no human connection, there is no compassion. I connect myself with the other. Not only the human connection, not only the human being, to all creation. There is no exercise better of the heart than reaching down and lifting people up. 3-4 days back, near our Kanjangad, somewhere in Kasaragod, somebody saw their calf or young cattle. Somehow it fell down into the well. 2 brothers went inside to save. In the process they died.
They saved a calf
No.
or like.
So I was thinking about the more okay, their prarabdha is there. But what is it that motivates, They gave their life to save. So there is no exercise better for the heart than reaching down and lifting people up. Until you have real compassion, you cannot recognize love. Compassion is not a relationship between the healer and the wounded. It's a relationship between equals. Only when we know our own darkness well can we be present with the darkness of others. When I know what is starvation, then only I will be able to really appreciate, know what starvation is. Otherwise it is academic, Somebody says, I believe it, that's all. in order that we get a taste of it. In 65 war time, when India was running short of food grains, the then Prime Minister gave a call, Lal Bahadur Shastri, asking us to forgo one meal in a week. Apparently we all thought, it is to save. Yeah, it is to save, no doubt. But in that process, you also know a bit of what is starving. You are a self-imposed starvation. How the body reacts, you will know. Otherwise, he will say, you give money, you give this. We would not have got it. And India rose up to the occasion. Which was evident when, during the Chinmaya Mission Sadhana, Ida Jnana period, Chinmayanji Maharaj asked us to have one more pavilion, two more pavilion, one for gold, one for rice. So every day, he said, before you put your rice on the vessel for cooking, whatever you are prompted from within, put it in a bag and bring it here in the area. It is not that simply we are coming. There is a process involved. I am eating, this is going for a person who is not eating. Same time you are parting with it. No? Tremendous impact. Very good collection we had. And in many temples also in good old days it was there, Pidiyari. Then they will bring it to the temple and it will be auctioned. Every day before we eat, we should put that. There will be a bottom there. No, the idea is we should know, The compassion becomes real when we recognize our shared humanity. Compassion is an action word with no boundaries. Compassion to, there is compassion for all. There is no specified beneficiary there. Only the development of compassion and understanding for others can bring us the tranquility and happiness we all seek. Until he extends the circle of his compassion to all living beings, man will not find peace within himself. Let our hearts be stretched out in compassion towards others, for everyone is walking his or her own difficult path. And it's all spontaneous, not planned. Somebody is crossing the road, you are coming in the vehicle, you will stop. You are seeing a cattle. When we come to the anecdote section, we will see. Compassion is the key to living outside the confines of your lower self. Compassion is the key to living outside the confines of your own lower self, the me and mine. The idea of compassion comes to us because we are made in the image of God, who is ultimately the compassionate one. God is there in every one of us. He is compassionate. How do we learn that He is compassionate? How do we look at it like this? We hardly recognize Him. We never express our thanks to Him. Whenever we are in trouble, He saves us. He is the one who is making me to feel I am. In spite of that, I belittle Him, I insult Him. I don't recognize Him, but He is compassionate to accommodate all my nonsense and still continue to love me. If He gives weightage to any of my doings, that moment He will go away, Think about it. 70 times the heart beats The breathing goes on. Circulation goes on. Digestion goes on. All my organs are active. Thinking faculty is active. Not because of me. Because he is there. I hardly recognize him. Even though I may be apparently associating with all labeled spiritual activities, I may be hardly doing it. The me and mine is so powerful in me that I hardly recognize him, excepting for a few seconds on a few occasions. But still, his heart is so broad that he doesn't see all my omissions, but he only looks at me as his own. So is he not compassionate? And that compassionate entity is within me. So I also must have something of his compassion. Na? Mamevamsho jivaloke jivabhuta sanadana. If he is there in me as an amsha, his characteristic is also there in me as amsha. That is why it comes out, not because of my thought product, but because spontaneously. Now, if time permits, we will go through a few. One first anecdote. Two ladies, Asha and Veena, were returning home on a two-wheeler after attending a function. It was about around 9 p.m. and it was raining heavily. On the way they saw a man lying on the road. He was injured and bleeding, and his scooter was lying nearby. Asha, who was driving her two-wheeler, stopped the vehicle when near the injured man. Veena thought she could not do anything to help, and so stood on the side of the road praying for the man. Asha tried to stop a few passing vehicles, but none cared to stop. Then came an auto driver. He stopped to inquire what had happened. Asha sought his help to take the injured man to the hospital. Meanwhile, another passerby was silently looking on. He was hesitant to come forward to help. The auto driver wanted the another person to shift the injured man to the auto and also to hold him. Veena came forward to do so. Seeing a lady volunteering to assist the auto driver, the hesitant onlooker stepped forward, though reluctantly. Asha and Veena then reported the matter to the nearest police station, requested them to move the injured man's vehicle from the road. Asha and Veena proceeded on their homeward journey. Veena confided to Asha all that all the while she was afraid because it was the night time and it was not a safe place. Veena was all praise for Asha's courage. Asha calmly asked her, what would we do if it was our own brother? Because normally when an accident takes place, even a right-thinking man will avoid getting into it. Not that he has no compassion, but his thought process will start working. In that case, you will have to go to the police station, and in police station they will ask you to sign certain things, and they will think that you might be the person who had caused the accident. So all these thought processes, prevent him from doing it. But if it is instantaneous, in one word she answered, what would we do if it was our own brother? We had come across such an incident. We were all coming in a bike. One bike was going with harsh speed. After some time, we saw bike on the other side. This line is on the other side. Another person is on the other side. We stopped the vehicle. Luckily, the motorcycle rider was not unconscious, but the other man was unconscious. Then we knew the accident came because the pedestrian who had taken to drinks, he was walking like this, and this the motorbike man had no control, Because if he turned this, he will come here. He will turn this. So finally he had to hit him. With the result, that old man was thrown out. He also fell down and bike was on the other side. And he was trembling, nervous, highly. So Jain immediately said, don't worry. So we took him in the jeep and kept the motorcycle on the side of the road. Took this man also, went to the government hospital, explained to them. They gave this thing. The other man is, they said he has to be taken to the medical college. He is in a critical condition, the pedestrian. So the motorcycle man immediately said, I will hire a taxi, take him there. Whatever, I was instrumental, I will do it. And then immediately we asked, anything you have kept in the, then we took the motorbike, kept in a safe place, and then took money, and we asked him whether he needs any money. He said no, sufficient money is there. And that person, employed, took the other man to the, and then later on we were told that before he reached the medical college, he died. And then, it would have been a tough job for him to identify the person who died, and he somehow, but I salute before him. He did not shirk his responsibility. If it happens to be my brother, what will I do? But one particular word keeps on coming back to us. Absence of otherness. Absence of otherness. Normally, when we read this, we will appreciate Vyasa and then keep quiet. Now we will not do it. We are trying to read it as a part of Karuna Evacha. We are trying to qualify ourselves. We want this theory to be highlighted in our mind. It is there in our mind. Just like we use nowadays, what do you call this? Highlighter. When we read a particular portion, suppose we want to read it again, we know it is very important. We highlight it.
We
Underline. Go through that with a colored pencil so that it stands out. Anytime you can have it. Similarly, compassion is in our heart. It is in a big book. We have forgotten, we have to highlight it. So these are all the episodes now Papa is parading before us. So that you highlight. When you keep on highlighting such observances, slowly, why did we highlight? Because he saw the otherness, absence of otherness, absence of otherness, absence of otherness.
You say otherness, I feel Papa's boning, feeling of otherness, sets limits to the illimitable. You know all the solution.
The sense of otherness sets limit to the illimitable. That word is enough, it contains everything. The sense of otherness sets limit to the illimitable. The illimitable is there in everybody. I have forgotten. I am limiting to individuals, objects, situations. Spirituality is nothing but to somehow get over this limitation. If I am clear, I will be clear in my sadhana. That is why he said, you remember, a man may be learned in all scriptures of the world. He may have performed tapasya in solitude. He may have visited holy shrines and places of pilgrimage. He may have the gifts of oratory and possess miraculous powers. But if he has no heart that feels compassion for distressed, poverty-stricken, starving people, all these requirements of his are worth nothing. That means I am setting the limit to the illimitable. It happens. It really happens. We have to be very careful when we go through slogas, when we become experts in expositions. Because we will be satisfied with the exposition, with the acknowledgement from the audience. What happens to my personal life, I don't. Unknowingly I do. We remember on a lighter vein, this is not serious, on a lighter vein. In good old days, many of the teachers used this stuffing. And he was telling, one teacher was taking the class, tobacco in whatever form, it is bad. Ah. What will they have any thought? Similarly, what we practice, unknowingly, not that he wanted to fool people, but he cannot control, He was talking about the alcohol, the ill effects of the alcohol, tobacco. Tobacco is in any form, is injurious to health. So we should, Papa's quotation, every now and then, we are not going through some anecdotes which will give us some temporary joy. No. This is a conscious effort on our part to get this stamped on our heart, compassion. And compassion is when you are compassionate, you play the part of God, he says. So this is all virtues are highest. This is what we can say first among the virtues. Because it is spontaneous. It does not ask for any suffix or prefix. Many instances. When somebody is seen drowned in the ocean, the fishermen who goes there every day for fishing, they jump. And then they try to save him. One more incident we have shared here, it comes to our mind. Many years ago, about probably a decade back, one couple came from Ahmedabad. It was raining also here, monsoon has set in. After 2 or 3 days, they went to Calicut. There are many Gujaratis there in Calicut. But we did not know. Normally they used to say they are going and coming back. Somehow they were not prompted to inform us. Everybody thought they had gone out for something. The room was locked. After 3 or 4 days, the husband came back and he was crying, straight away prostrated before Papa's. I'm crying like a child. And slowly we consoled him and asked him what happened. He said the day on which they came, next day, they went to the beach, Calicut beach, and they were talking. Suddenly the rains, they started getting the rains, wind, everything. They were almost walking on the side of the banks of the ocean. His missus lost the grip. His missus lost her grip. Suddenly, one wave took her. Seeing this, 2 or 3 fishermen, they jumped. He also jumped. They brought both of them back, but by that time she had passed out. They are absolutely not known. So the fishermen took the lead to get the address, because anything we have to immediately inform the police there. So they informed the police and told them this person, he has become nervous, and through few words he was able to understand, they were able to understand that they are from Gujarat, they are from Ahmedabad, his son is working in a particular bank, and then if all the formalities are to be done and if it is to be cremated, permission should be given by not only the husband and also all the family members. They should not suspect any foul play tomorrow. So these fishermen, went to the bank, Indian bank there, because he is working in the Indian bank in Ahmedabad. They were able to influence and talk to the manager there, and the manager slowly conveyed his son. And it was very heavily raining. There was some traffic problem also, train problem. So finally, with a very heavy heart, he gave a no objection letter. That was sent through email or something, handed over. Then the cremation took place. They did not take a pie for the people. And after some more legal formalities, he was asked to go back, and then he came here. He explained to me, he said, far from losing my wife, I will never be able to pay back the generous behavior, the sacrificial behavior of all those fishermen who are strangers to me. When we say about compassion, absence of otherness, absence of otherness. So we consoled him. God had planned to take her away, but at the same time, in taking her away, he wanted all of us to learn some lesson also from his other creation. So that is why now it overweighs in your mind. Luckily, the cushioning has been taken. So compassion is a subject on which actually nobody can give any discourse. The only thing is we can enjoy the feast by sharing this and praying to God at the same time. You have expressed there in the form of compassion. You reveal that compassion in your heart always, please. The me and mine comes and covers my compassion. Not that I don't want to be compassionate. The care and concern for others should weigh more in me. Sarva bhuta hite rata. That should writ large in my mind. So there are about 10 or 15 anecdotes. We will go through it again and again tomorrow. So compassion, compassion, compassion. One small act which we happened to know recently in Kanjangad town. Somebody was going for a program. It was raining. A small cat, somehow it was on the middle of the road. So many vehicles, people come and go. It wasn't like this, shivering. This man who is going to some program, he had the compassion, but he was worried whether he will be late. So he did not do anything. But after some time he felt guilty and looked back. He saw a young person straight away coming to the place where the cat is there. And when the vehicle comes, he stopped. He took that cat. There was a nearby bus stand. It was shivering. There he was having some newspaper just now. He must have bought it for reading. With that newspaper, he cleaned, and with the rest of the newspaper he placed it there and then came out. The other man was looking. After some time, the cat will go. But at that particular moment, sense of otherness sets limit to the limit. In this case, he did not see that. There was no otherness. He was not bothered about the traffic. He was not bothered about somebody talking and abusing him. He was not bothered about the accident that might come tomorrow. He was bothered only about saving the cat. Then it happened. So let us keep our eyes open, ears open. God is providing us umpteen number of opportunities to bring out the compassion in us. Let not our me and mine go and cover it. This is the prayer we have. You are given compassion in us, but at the same time the me and mine is very powerful. Though I want to do it, I may not do it. To save me and mine. My priority, my right, my life, it comes and occupies. So let us all do reflection on these ways. We are trying to go through how to qualify ourselves to become His true and dearest partner. Hari Om.
मानस संचर रे ब्रह्मणि मानस संचर रे मद सिखि पिंछा